Hello, hi, welcome back to my slot on looking at some tips and techniques of how to avoid anxiety and depression at this current time. Today, I am very excited that I have been joined by Peter, who is an expert at Ki Gong, and he has done some fantastic things at the Hook Centre and in Hook Library with his amazing exercises. So I thought it would be really interesting for people to learn more about what he does, and just we have a general discussion about how to improve emotional well-being and alongside what we can do for our immune system, which is really important. So hi Peter, it's really good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you too. Good to see you.
And thanks so much for doing this. It's really good.
That's okay. My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm very passionate, as you know, about health and wanting other people to be healthy. So
yes,
lovely opportunity for me personally. So thank you.
Wonderful. I'm really pleased because I think a lot of people forget that our physical health and how we treat our bodies has a big impact on our emotional health as well.
For sure. It's enormous. If you really look at the physiology of the body now, there's enormous breakthroughs in science where you go even down just to the cells. The cells have like detectors, and they're perceptive. It's their perception, and when they perceive something to be good for the cell, they allow it in. When they perceive it not to be good, they don't allow it in. So there's like a little gate to each cell. And we are the same with our brain. Our brain is perception. So if we perceive something to be fearful, we'll suffer from fear and we'll go into our sympathetic nervous state, which is our fight or flight. But if we perceive it to be safe, which we should be feeling safe most of the time, because really there's no tiger coming into the room, we should really be in the parasympathetic nervous state, which is your rest and digest and your healing, which is where the healing comes from in the body, our natural healing, because our bodies are actually self-regulating and self-healing. But because we're always stressed and anxious about something, could be bills or money or work or anything like that, we go into the sympathetic nervous state. So therefore we are stressed, and it's not really, the body's not healing properly. So it's really important, really important to start thinking about ourselves and how we perceive the world and what's really happening.
Because I think what you were saying there about sort of people perceiving lots of things to be anxious and stressed about, and sort of the sympathetic mode. But I think nowadays, because we've got this virus, we are being told all the time that our external environment is dangerous. So I can understand that people who possibly have never experienced anxiety, or have been the type of people who might have that slight edge, but they're able to control it, might be feeling a more heightened anxiety than they would normally, because it is our external world is this dangerous place we're being told at the moment. So this was my whole point about setting up these Facebook live sessions, was to help people, as you were saying, to regulate their response and their sympathetic response, and then get back into that sort of state where our bodies are able to nourish themselves and to grow and to relax and to heal. So this is why I thought it was so relevant to have you along, because that is what you've dedicated your life to, isn't it? Is making people become more connected to their bodies and how to nurture their bodies. So just thinking about ways, and we'll go on to the Ki Gong in a little while, but how do you feel that what do you think people could be doing more to help nourish themselves and to feed their bodies to be out of that sympathetic phase?
I think the most important thing really is sleep. You can sleep at least about 7 hours. If you can get some deep sleep, it's so important, because that's when your consciousness leaves your body then, and your body's just into its natural state. And when you don't sleep enough, you're not getting into that rest, digest and healing zone. So sleep is so important. And what we teach with our Ki Gong is with our toes, we like tap our toes together, but we instigate the movement from the hips. And what that does, takes the energy from the head, because our head's so busy and we can't get to sleep. It takes the energy from the head down into your feet. So you're focusing now on your feet.
Is that for bed? Do you do that at bedtime?
Yeah.
Because I was the other day told of something, because someone was talking about tapping the sides of their legs.
Yeah, that works.
And is it about getting the brain waves more ordered as well, or
yeah, that's part of it, because you're doing something regular and moving, and you are starting to bring your brain waves down into the alpha state, which then you're going to go down even further.
So do you change the rhythm? Because I've never heard of this before. It sounds really good.
No, just tapping, so the right rhythm, tapping your big toes, but instigate the movement from your hips.
Okay.
And then if you haven't done it at all, you're going to start to feel it on your inner thigh. So it's very good for toning your legs as well.
Okay.
But it does bring your mind out into your body, but you've got to focus on where you're tapping. So really focus on your feet. And it takes a while. After 3-4 seconds, maybe if you haven't done it before, your mind will be off again.
Yeah.
So keep bringing it back down. That's why I say in my classes, my Ki Gong classes, keep bringing yourself down into your feet and breathing nice and deeply into your lower abdomen. And we'll go into breathing later. But yeah, for sleeping, that's one of the best things. I do between 500 to 1,000 every night before I go to bed.
Goodness. So, you must go to bed. You must go to bed very early. If you have to do that many.
That should take that long.
5 hours later, still
5 o'clock. I go to bed about 5 o'clock to get my before I go to bed.
If you count halfway through, you have to start all over again. No, I think that sounds like a really good tip. I'm going to try that tonight. I have to say, it's the one thing that's not effective for me at the moment is sleep. I'm sleeping probably better than I've ever slept. So I'm wondering whether it's because I'm not so frantically moving around everywhere as much as I was. Yeah. So I know a lot of people might be thinking that it's a good time to eat lots of sugar and chocolate, and because they feel that they're getting comfort from that, or maybe drinking more alcohol than they usually are. I mean, I think alcohol consumption's increased by 20%.
Oh, goodness me.
So, I mean, I believe actually at this particular time, this is the time when we need to be eating the healthiest, because we need to be boosting our immune system. And the way we boost our immune system is how we feed ourselves, and also our thoughts as well, because if we have very stressed thoughts, that affects our immune system too, doesn't it?
It all affects our immune system, and to boost your immune system, you need to avoid sugar. Sugar is not good at all, like fizzy drinks, chocolate. You can eat dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is very good for you. But with the liver and drinking more, the liver is, in our traditions that I've learned, liver is to do with anger. And I suppose people would be a little bit angry being stuck in their homes. So they would tend to drink to quash that anger from the liver. But there are Qigong exercises that you can do to open up the liver meridian. One of the good ways is just tapping. So you've got your liver on your right side and your stomach on your left side, and you just tap. Just tap. And you're helping to appease your anger and your stress and anxiety on your stomach, which is what.
So where can you stand up and show me? Are you able to show me where that would be?
So just below your rib cage.
So sort of in your solar plex area.
Yeah, and it will be, if you tap your solar plexus, that will be very sore.
Yeah.
I bet you it's very sore for most people. It was when I first started. Now it's very open. I've got rid of stress and anxiety. But just tapping here, just below, so you've got your liver in your stomach.
Maybe a good thing to do when my son's refusing to do his writing for home school. Tap there like that.
Yes.
Thank you. That's a really good way. Yeah. So, what would you suggest that people should be nourishing themselves with at the moment? Is it just about tapping?
No. I would say a lot of people are actually starting to move towards plant-based food and a plant-based diet. So if you can, try and get fresh fruit and vegetables inside of you the best you can, and learn how to start your meals from fresh. So you start from fresh rather than buying boxed stuff, boxed meals. And really, if you have a garden, start taking an interest in growing your own food. If you've got if you're in a flat, you can still grow herbs and things like that. So you understand the actual process of it, because if you look at our gut, which is 85% of our immune system, we have the same content in our gut as a healthy soil does. So that we have a symbiotic relationship with the soil, and also we have a symbiotic relationship with the plants, because they breathe in carbon dioxide and they breathe out oxygen. We breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So we are actually connected with that.
Interesting.
And, so the plant-based diet, and it's not boring at all. You can really spice your food up with all sorts of herbs and spices, which we used to do. We went to Hampton Court a little while ago, and we were talking to one of the chefs there who was cooking food in the times of Henry VIII, and the amount of herbs they used was incredible. We seem to be moving a little bit away from that now. So you can use herbs in your salad. Coriander is a wonderful herb. Coriander, if you get fresh coriander, it actually holds on to heavy metals and pulls them through the body.
Wow, interesting.
And so does parsley. Parsley does that as well. It'll attach itself to heavy metals and pull them through the body.
Because I see parsley's a real, it's like a multivitamin, isn't it? It's got so many different vitamins in it.
Really wonderful for you. All these fresh herbs, and everything has a reason for putting it into the body. That's why we have such an array of food. They've all got different attributes to them, and there is a bigger interest now in herbs. I saw that on, I think it was not Garden as well, but one of those gardening programs where we're actually looking at herbs now to use as, who was it? It was Socrates who said, let food be your medicine, to eat food, eat herbs, to help flush things out of the body. You have an amazing, but all of us have amazing bodies. You couldn't actually buy us or create us with all the money in the world. That's how incredible we are. And really, I really feel passionate we all need to start to respect that a little bit. So drinking too much, eating too much of the wrong foods, you're not really respecting what your body is. And there's been lots of kind of new age bad sort of thoughts about that, like, oh, my body is a temple and stuff like that. Well, it actually is. You don't have to look at it like that. You just look at it and say, well, am I really looking after this? Because it is your vehicle to move yourself around.
Because I think that if we were able to see into our bodies, I think we would treat them very differently, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
If we could actually focus in on how our cells are growing and nurturing and developing, and if we saw the damage that we were doing by the choices we were making, I think that we would alter our behaviors very, very quickly. Talking about sort of going back to the gut health, there's a lot of research to suggest that when you have a good amount of friendly bacteria in your stomach, your mood naturally rises, doesn't it? So there's a strong correlation between the state of your gut and our mood, which I think is absolutely remarkable.
Well, it is. If you look at your gut, it's got the same neurons as a small cat or a dog, and it actually connects with the brain. And the same with the heart. They're neurons, I think they're called neurons, but they are like brain cells in your heart. So if you connect your brain with your heart and then your heart with your gut, and all, it's connected via the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve comes from the brainstem all the way down into your gut. And 95% of that information actually goes from your gut to your brainstem, which will then, if your brain is working properly, come into your neocortex, which is where our consciousness is. Our subconscious is all the back of the brain. Our consciousness is the front of the brain. So this information from your gut, you get, I think it's about 90% of your serotonin is produced here, which is your happiness hormone. So be happy. And 50% of your joy hormone, which is your dopamine, is actually produced in your gut.
Amazing.
Keeping this really healthy is so important. And I'll just show you a very easy exercise to do. So you just make a little triangle with your hands and you place it on your belly button. And you pull in as much as you can. So pulling in your gut and push out as much as you can. Pulling in and pushing out. So we do 10. 1, 2, 3. Can you feel yourself warming up? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And just rubbing your abdomen right, coming up the right side and down the left side. That's your large intestine. Large intestine. So you feel yourself naturally warming up. So it was a Japanese scientist who said each time your immune system raises by 1 degree, your gut raised by 1 degree, your immune system kicks in another 5 times.
Oh, wow.
So it's enormous, but it goes the other way around. If it lowers, so if you get cold in your gut, it's the same way. Your immune system drops as it gets cold.
So is that why, so especially in Asian countries, they sort of say to not drink ice water and not have really cold food?
Well, when I do the Ki Gong classes at Milat, it's all very warm water, and I'm very unaccustomed to drinking it. Ew, what's that?
Well, I never have ice in my water. I just don't do it. I think when I was in Thailand many years ago, and I was just all stomach, and someone just said, "Oh, don't have the water out the fridge." And
Yeah.
I have never looked back since.
No, it's yeah, room temperature water is very good, very good. Yeah, so that's your gut, and hydration. Obviously, of your gut. If you think about your large intestine, it needs water, which moves the food around. So it's the 5% that actually moves the food around, which is what your brain does. So if your brain is stressed and all over the place, it's not going to be focusing on your body, which is why.
So how can we bring our brain in? So we've got the foot tapping. We're able to warm our digestive system, which is all brilliant. So can you give us ways to get our brains in connected more with our bodies and less focusing on what's going on out there?
All right, we'll do a very simple exercise here with our hands.
Okay.
See my hand, okay, mate? Just make a little glove puppet.
Yeah.
And then you just rotate the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back the other way. Nice and soft. 1, 2. Keep softening your wrist with your mind. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then bring your hands up, fingers together. Fingers together as much as you can. Just bring your little finger down inside. Just a little finger. Whoop.
Can I do this finger at the same time?
Just a little finger. That's it. That's a good technique. And then your ring finger. Your ring finger on the same.
Oh,
yeah, very good. And then middle finger, index finger. It gets easier up towards the thumb, yeah? And then your thumb. Try and get the other fingers up. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and your little finger.
Oh, that's my trouble one.
That's okay. You get it? Practice. And then right in the middle of the palm, there's a major pericardium acupressure point. If you massage in there with your thumb.
Quite hard?
Yeah, quite hard, so it's comfortable. This is part of your pericardium meridian, which encases the heart. People do this naturally when they're stressed or worried.
Yes.
You see them doing this, and this is why. It's our natural reaction to stress. And then massaging down your fingertips.
Let's see what you're doing.
Just massaging, just quickly. Okay. You're getting the energy down into your fingertips and your thumb, and then tapping back with the back of your other hand 3 times. Just shake it up a bit, and then shake it out. Like it's not attached to your body, very light and loose. Keep focusing on getting your body light and loose, and then up and down, but not so hard. That can hurt and jolt. And then your best wave, Your Majesty. Perfect.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now take that wrist with the other wrist. It feels a little bit lighter.
Yeah, it's definitely a difference. Yeah.
Definitely like, well, we're going to do this wrist, otherwise this one's going to float off. Yeah. We'll just rotate the wrist again. 1.
Are we doing the opposite hand now?
Yeah, do the opposite hand now. The right hand or the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring the hands up. Bring your fingers together and little finger down its own.
I can do it this
one. That's a better hand. Is that your right hand or left hand?
This is my left hand and I'm right-handed.
It's really funny how it works, how the brain works.
What about if someone's got arthritis or something like that? How would...
This, I teach Ki Gong at the long move, middle finger, index finger and thumb. And there's a lady who's been doing this for 2 years. Yeah. She had arthritis. She couldn't open tins, now she can.
Oh, amazing.
Reversed it a little bit. Index finger, middle finger.
Arthritis is such a difficult thing to have, isn't it, when you're in all that pain?
Yeah, but the masters who teach me this, they say 95% of our ailments are through lack of energy circulation. So
right.
In the palm. So I found when people with strokes who can't move their body very well, or with arthritis, once they do this Ki Gong practices, these little exercises, massaging down your fingers, it helps. I'm not saying it cures it, but it helps.
Yes.
And then
release a bit of it.
Yeah, and then tapping 3 times with the back of the hand, and then shake it out. So it's very simple what you do with your body, but you're focusing now on your body, up and down, and your best wave. And then your hands should feel nice and soft.
Yeah, it's warm as well. It's nice. It's just
So that's your body, that's your energy coming into your hands. That's what we do when we open the joints up with our Ki Gong class. And then we do very simple Ki Gong moves.
Okay.
And you naturally warm the body up with Ki Gong. Ki Gong really is to bring your mind into your body and connect your breath with it as well. So as you breathe in, your hands kind of float up like a wave, and as you breathe out, slowly coming back down. And you're always softening your body with your mind. So if you feel stress, you soften it. So it all starts to soften, and you become less stressed and less anxious just by doing it.
Sounds lovely.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I've never been able to join in with your activities because I've always been one who's been organising everything, so I haven't been able to join in. That sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah, people always report that there's reams of testimonials on the website, and we've done some case studies and we've done an impact report, and most people are getting something out of it. But it's your mind again, and your perception. Oh, I'm not doing something stupid like that.
The thing that really struck me when I've watched you doing in groups is just how it makes everyone so much happier, and it sort of connects everyone together. It just creates this lovely, happy atmosphere where everybody's smiling afterwards. It's a real joy to witness.
That came from our training. It comes from Korea, and they've got Korean masters over here, and they've always got joy in their hearts. And I was quite angry when I actually started this practice, and my mentor and master, her name was Hope, her name is Hope, and she said, well, Peter, you've got such lovely energy, why are you being like this? Why are you allowing yourself to be like this? And what happens with us, we either have an emotion or a feeling or a thought or anger, and we allow that to dictate our mood, and we don't even realize we're doing it. So it could be a grief or sadness, anger, fear, stress, anxiety from the stomach, and we can obviously, to ignore that is repressing it, so that's not healthy. But you can actually own that and not let it take your joyful persona away. And that's what it taught me. Is there's many crazy things that happen in the world, and sometimes you do get angry, or you're fearful, or you're sad, or especially fearful now, and you can actually just allow that to pass. It's like when you're learning to meditate for the first time. The trick is to observe your thoughts. Observe them. Don't react to them. And then you observe them. Thoughts are very dry, but emotions are very juicy. It really can impact you in a bigger way. And once you learn how to observe your emotions and enjoy them, enjoy the good ones, and then think about why that bad emotion has come in and what you can learn from that situation is so important.
Because I sort of see emotions. As messages. Emotions are there to tell you something and to learn from them, rather than getting completely interconnected with them and having them overtaken.
That's very enlightened. That's very good. And that's what it is. That you learn from them. You have a choice. The point is, with all of this, you have a choice, and you can choose either that way or that way. And when I was younger, I was diagnosed. They called it manic depression back then, but it was me more questioning everything. I was questioning and trying to work things out, and I would withdraw from society a little bit. And I worked out that actually I'm okay. I can speak. And then I started to trust myself a little bit more. It took me many years, but started to trust myself a little bit more. Started to come out of myself, and that's when I decided to become a musician, follow my true heart. And I had a really good sales job. I walked away from that and became a musician, which was very risky at the time, but it brought forward many different wonderful and trying times. And it was the trying times that made me learn. Okay, I don't want to do that again. I'm doing that again. And I want to do that again. And you move in that sort of direction. It's all changed now. It's a lot different. So it's more difficult to get a living out of it. So we found Ki Gong, my wife and I was so taken by this practice, body and brain, that I set up the Ki Gong UK Association and teaching now in the borough of Kingston and North Surrey. So, and I love it. I see about 150 people a week. Well, I did before this lockdown. And I love all of them. I've really got a connection with all of them. And it really makes me feel my life purpose is right on track. So
how amazing. You've come such a long way in life, haven't you?
So it's good to see people developing and growing as well. That's what I love, especially the elderly. They feel like they're stuck there and they can't do anything. They feel like they're a little bit on the scrap heap. And I go in there and say, no, look at you, you've got all this to offer. And I see people changing, and community centres that I instruct at, they're going around and now and helping other people.
Amazing.
To become more involved with their community, which is what this is all about at the end of the day, is us being our true selves, which is, if you think about what our vibration is, if you go to the Heart Math Institute, they've done research on the EMFs of the body, the energy circuits of the body, and the biggest one is the heart. You would think it was the brain, but actually it's the heart. So once we can connect with our heart, which is what Ki Gong does, we do lots of exercises to open up the heart area, you start to connect with your love, your empathy, and your compassion, and you see the world in a lot different way. You see it in a lot different way, and you see, okay, you still see the troubled spots, but you can realise that they're there for a purpose. It's like
seeing it from a different perspective.
Yeah. But you see the good as well. So you see an overall picture, and you're not so stressed out about it, which is so important. I see so many people so stressed, and I want to help. And I will say the best way to get out of stress and anxiety is meditation. Now, it's a form of meditation, but breathing is the most simple one, deep breathing. And
so just to finish off, would you like to just quickly talk us through a simple breathing technique that people could do, a breathing meditation they could do?
Yeah, it's called box breathing. Well, we do Danjong breathing, where you just place your hands on your belly and you breathe in like a baby, and you breathe out, and but don't force anything. Keep it all soft and natural. Breathing in. So when babies breathe, their belly comes out like a balloon. As we age, our energy comes up to the head because we get more information in the head. So our breathing becomes more shallow. And the reason we breathe down into our internal organs is to stimulate our internal organs, because 85% of your immune cells are in your gut. So you're stimulating that all the time. But as you age, our breathing comes up. You don't stimulate it so much. So Danjong breathing is really, really important. And so you can keep focusing on your breath. Try and do it for 3 or 4 breaths after this talk. Try and do it for 3 or 4 breaths. You'll find your mind wandering. That's why Ki Gong's called a practice. You keep practicing it until you can actually focus on your breath for 20, 30 seconds. You'll still get thoughts coming in, but it's helpful. But yeah, we'll do some box breathing. So you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you breathe out for 4, and you hold for 4. But you may feel a little bit stressed or anxious at first, because you won't be used to having so much oxygen in your body, and oxygen is obviously really important for you to be alive. So focus on that. The feeling should pass if you feel a little bit stressed or anxious, and also focus on the breath coming in and the breath coming out, and that will tell you if you need to work on either breathing more energy into your body, or you have an excess and you need to breathe more out.
Okay.
So you really focus on that. Many people say, "Oh, I can breathe in easily, but I can't breathe out as much." So yeah, it's just that.
Okay.
So if you straighten your back, close your eyes, palms facing up, close your eyes, and then just everybody breathe out. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. So breathe in now all the way down into your lower abdomen. And then as you breathe out, lean forward through and breathe out through your teeth. Helps take the heat out there. 2 more times, breathing in, coming back up. And breathing out. And again, 1 more time, breathing in. And breathing out. And slowly coming back up. Oh, you look very relaxed now.
Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah, great.
Yeah, it really does help you to center on yourself. Keep focusing on your body. That's what I say in the Ki Gong classes. And you do. You feel great. You know, what more do you need out of life than to actually just feel great? You know, and if you've got your family around you or your friends, you know, that's what we are. We're wonderful beings that are priceless. We're precious and priceless. So that's what we need to start to look at ourselves and each other as that. And once we do that, I'm sure the communities will start to build and thrive and grow, which is what really I want. And I think we all want, really, don't we?
Definitely.
Yeah. So
thank you very much for that today. That's been so interesting, and I've learned loads. So I hope everyone else has too. But I know I'm like be tapping my feet.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully, some point we'll get some Ki Gong classes going in Chesington area.
Yeah, great.
So, that'd be good. But yeah,
Thank you.
Keep practicing, keep breathing, keep focusing on your body, and be well.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.